Today on the Cardinal Sports Network, your Lawrence Cardinals take on the Princeton Day School Panthers in varsity baseball.
Put a glove that down and we'll redo it. I'm really liking the positions of Seneca Sumners and Yariel Guzman. In yesterday's game, those two were swapped. Yariel is playing short. And a swinging strikeout for Deacon Moore's first of the season will end the 1-2-3 top of the first inning. And a clean sheet to start things off for Lawrence. They get the first three batters out.
You love seeing that from Deacon, doing a little bit of an impression of what his big bro Kellen did last year, mowing them down to end the inning. You love seeing that at the top of the first to get this home opener started for these Cardinals.
We'll take it to the bottom of the opening frame here on 107.7 The Bronc Retro WRRC 2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
We're back here for the bottom of the first inning with the Cardinals and the Panthers still tied at 1 on 107.7 The Bronc Retro WRC 2. Trey Wright, Matt Brown, and CJ Jackson bringing to the action for the home opener today. Let's take a look at today's Lawrence starting 9, brought to you by the 107.7 The Bronc Radiothon, going on now through Monday morning at 10 a.m. To see a full list of shows and to donate and support our student radio station, go to 1077thebronc.com/radiothon. Similar lineup to what we saw yesterday with Conwell Egan Catholic, Deacon Moore, Drew Dobkin, and Aiden Poot leading things off here in the bottom of the first inning. Teak Toto, Connor Williver, and Josh McCroskey, the murderers row of this lineup right at the heart of it in 4, 5, and 6. Aiden Crowley will likely slot in the lineup at 7. Seneca Sumners and Yariel Guzman, the bottom of the order for the Cardinals. So Cameron Kellerman, the young freshman from Princeton Day, will step into the box, has never pitched at the high school level yet. He's facing really, really good Cardinals team. And it starts with a little bit of a floater that goes inside towards Deacon Moore, who went 0 for 3 yesterday with a fly out, a ground out, and a strikeout against the Conwell Egan Catholic Eagles, and he quickly draws even in the count.
You know, I know that was a rough cut right there by Deacon, but, you know, this youngin' for Princeton Day, he's going up against quite the hitter for Deacon. Deacon was one of the lead hitters at the top of the lineup last year with a .337 batting average. Hopefully he can take that over going into this season.
He'll pull one high into the air. Running back for it is Signorella. And the shortstop will come down for it for the first out as Deacon Moore 0 for 4 to start 2025. The offensive positions for the Princeton Day Panthers, you got Kelman on the mound, Luke Hahn behind at the plate, Mitra, Mason Reutberg, Signorella, and Phyllis first through third. Then Dylan Powers, Keegan Fullman, and A.J. Duran left to right in the outfield. Drew Dobkin steps on the mound, or steps on the plate rather, for the first time this season. He'll take a fastball high and out. A couple of number changes for a couple of these players. Dobkin wearing Riley Rivera's number 2 last season that he wore. It's a little weird to see Dobkin wearing anything but 14. Seneca Sumners taking Robert Kelly's number 6. I believe that's all the number changes that we've got in today's lineup so far. And that's down and away, and Dobkin will jump ahead in the count. Was one of the most walked players on the Cardinals program last season, an on-base percentage, just about 400 if I can remember. That pops out of the glove of Hahn, will go to the backstop, and it's quickly a 3-0 count for Dobkin. Lawrence has won the last 3 games against the Princeton Day Panthers, and they've scored a lot of runs in all 3. Including a 5-inning perfect game that ended up being 14-0 last year, right in the middle of the season. Kelman will get one back as Dobkin still ahead in the count of 3-1.
That's a little high right there. I was a little surprised he got that one back.
Aiden Poot pitching a perfect game last year. The Cardinals had 5 runs in that first inning of last year's game at Princeton Day. Dobkin fouls one back to the parking lot, so he's quickly down 3-2 full. Fans coming out in droves this afternoon to watch the home opener. For last year's runner-ups, the Mercer County Tournament. High and upstairs, all the way in the attic, is Dobkin will be the first base runner today.
Pretty easy take there.
It was a good take right there by Dobkin. Like you said, Trey, you know, one of the more walked players on the team last year, starting his home opener off away in Illinois Town, taking a walk. Good eye right there. Hopefully it also gave the rest of the team enough of a chance to see what else is going on in the repertoire.
Connor Crowley is courtesy runner for Dobkin. As we've seen a lot so far this season. That'll bring Aiden Poot for his first at-bat of the morning. He lines one into shallow center field. Racing back forward is Fullman. He's not going to be able to come down with it. That's safe. Running around second and going for third will be Connor Crowley. And it's not going to be a hit for Poot, but he'll definitely take it. It's going to be an E8 right in the outfield. That'll put ducks on the pond for the first time this season.
Oh, Trey, I've been waiting for you to say that for quite some time. Unfortunate error right there by Princeton Day, but it benefits the Cardinals greatly. Ducks on ponds. It's baseball season. Runners in scoring position. And who's up to bat but Mr. IMG himself, Teak Toto.
That's Princeton Day's second error of the season. Lawrence had 3 yesterday. As Luke Hahn, the senior, will talk to his freshman pitcher who is in his first ever mound visit. As Teak Toto, the IMG commit for next season, will step into the batter's box. He and Aiden Pitt were the only Cardinals that were able to register hits yesterday. And he is staring down very young Cameron Kellman. That one all the way outside. Toto 1 for 3 yesterday afternoon with a single and a stolen base. For the first time this season, had a Cardinal on the hot corner as nobody was able to get past second base yesterday against Princeton Day. That's popped up high in the air as yesterday was actually against Conwell Egan. Losing it in the summer.
Oh, he dropped it.
Oh my
Back-to-back
goodness.
errors.
Vince Phillis had it in his glove and he dropped it. Rather, that was Tino Signorella who dropped it. Everybody's safe with only 1 out on the board. And coming up is baby Pete Alonso, Connor Williver, who was about a foot away from having a moonshot yesterday morning.
That was incredible. The wind here is pretty mighty. You know, Trey, you've called a couple of Rider games. I've been going to a bunch of Rider games, so, while it's, still getting a little nicer here in Lawrence, the wind is still mighty, and when the ball goes high up in the air like that, it is going to get caught from time to time, so you got to make sure you got to keep an eye on it. That's not something that's just going to affect Princeton Day. That is something to keep an eye on, too, if you are Lawrence, because in case you can't hear it through our microphones, the wind be mighty today, folks.
A lot of, or rather, the big jam so far in the bottom of this first inning is Connor Williver, who was 0 for 2 yesterday. Like we said, had a deep shot to left field. That if that was in this ballpark would have been a home run, went 314 feet. And unfortunately didn't go the 315 feet as a left fielder yesterday for Conwell Egan Catholic made a spectacular grab to rob what would have been a surefire double for Williver in yesterday's offering. Seawheels down on the count 0-1. Kellman kicks and deals. That one didn't drop in the center in time, and that'll even things up for Williver.
Hopefully Williver develops some patience this season, gets a little bit better at the plate. He had a great base last year. Hopefully he was able to build on that, put on some muscle coming in this season.
Oh, he definitely put on a lot of muscle. He's going to line one. That might curve foul, and it will. Oh, just barely hooked over. That would have been gone.
That had everyone leaning over and going out of the dugout. Oh, man, I'm so jealous that I'm only spot calling some games because I feel, oh, man, I don't want to say it, but, like,
There's a reason we're calling him Baby Pete Alonso this season because we saw it last year. He hit a lot of long balls, got his first career home run as a sophomore.
You're going to see some special stuff.
1-2 on the way. He'll line another one down the left side. Could this be fair? No, it's not.
Yeah.
And Matt jumping on top of the table to get a gander at that.
Man, I want to see it go. I want to see it go.
Let's just try to get some runs here. I'd say would be the biggest thing. I know you want to see a long ball, but just trying to put it in play.
Matt's love the long ball.
It's not all about that.
Exactly. If it
Ground
was all
ball,
about
ground ball through the infield will score too.
Exactly. If it was all about the long ball, then the Houston Astros would have won the World Series in 2019.
That's true. That is true.
Gelman gets the sign from Hahn. 1-2 towards the 11 of Wilver. Here it comes, and it plunks him. So the second
Really good at bat there.
Second time that Williver has been plunked by a pitch. It brings in Connor Crowley, and Lawrence is on the scoreboard for the first time this season.
Great
it's
start.
It's 1-0 Cardinals.
Great start.
Yeah, you know, you never want to see a player getting plunked, but one thing that I am really liking out of the Cardinals so far is I am liking, you know, I don't want to say lack of aggressiveness, but like they are like waiting for their pitch and they're being studious at the box, which you love seeing that. They're not coming out over aggressive as Josh Pekrosky takes one for a 1-0. Like they're really waiting for their spot and they're being really smart about it.
Luke Hahn had to dive all the way over to the backstop to prevent that one from going to the back. It brings up Josh Pekrosky, who's using a composite bat this season, as he'll draw even in the count 1-0.
I love composite bats. They're so good.
Oh, we heard he hit a home run against Steiner in the preseason.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Had a couple of really good hits yesterday against Conway League and Catholic. It sounds like a big league bat, and he's got a big league hitter as well. He'll hit a ground ball, just goes foul down the third base side. He'll go down to 1-2.
You hear Coach Marr, he didn't love that. He said better swing.
Jim Marr down the first base side.
It's
Ryan Williver, rather Jim Marr down the third base side, and Ryan Williver down the first base side, the older brother of Connor Williver, the class of 2022 graduate. So we'll do it again. 1-2 towards Pekrosky, high and away. Draws even the count at 2. Bases are loaded, 1 out, bottom of the first inning. Cardinals up 1-0. Poot on third, Todos at second, Williver at first, and Josh Pekrosky trying to bring in a couple more runners.
And he gets plunked.
Back-to-back hit batters by Cameron Kellerman will double up the score. Aiden Poot will come in. We'll have to see if Eric Schneff will potentially bring the hook here for a starting freshman. Not the best foray for him, but 2 of those runs are not going to be earned. They came in. Well, actually, one of those runs is not going to be earned because one of them was a walk, the one that Dobkin drew. That Poot one, that was an error in the outfield, and then another error on that Toto pop-up. As Seneca Sumners will step into the box for the first time today, and Kelman lost it at the mound for a brief moment. Toto was about 10 feet away from charging towards the plate to try to triple the lead.
Toto was, sorry, I confused him with Poot for a second. I was about to say he was sneaky, the best stealer on the team. He was not, though. Toto can run, though. Don't sleep on Toto.
That gets lined into left field. That'll hook foul. Goes out of play.
No.
No, it won't. So it looks like Phyllis caught it in foul territory. That'll score another run. So a sac fly RBI for Seneca Sumners to draw in his first run.
That's called
the Cardinals triple the lead.
It's tough to see that.
It sucks because we have the Lawrence dugout right in my field of view beyond third base. So it'll make it 3-0 as Yariel Guzman will come in. So it's actually, the bottom of the order is going to be Sumners, Guzman, and Aiden Crowley is going to slot it at 9 here. That's a swinging strike for Yariel Guzman. 0 for 1 yesterday. Struck out in the top of the third. He's batting 8th, and Aiden Crowley will bat 9th. He'll see one come right down Broadway.
Dario's rocking really cool cleats. He's rocking Air Jordan cleats.
Trying to fly down the base paths for Yario Guzman. 0-2 with 2 away. He'll pop one to shallow center field. Getting under it is Reutberg. He'll get it there. The Cardinals strand 3, but they get 3 across the plate. At the end of 1, Cardinals 3, Panthers 0. We'll go to the top of the second inning with Lawrence up by a trio here on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC 2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
But you know that is a healthy left field back there, and man, I think one of the dogs that are out there went to go fetch it. That's how far it went.
Well, somebody better fetch that baseball. That's the first career home run for the freshman of AJ Duran.
He's a freshman?
He is a freshman.
What does he eat for cereal? Creatine?
Something like that. He joins Luke Hahn as 2 Princeton Day hitters to knock in a 4-bagger. So far in 2025, as Vince Phillips will go down 0-2. You know, Duran was 2 for 3 yesterday against Robbinsville with a pair of doubles. So he can definitely crank the baseball. He's definitely pulling his weight in the slugging category, and he showed it there. A moonshot to left center. Nothing Vikrosky could do about that. And like we said, first career home run. Glad I brought you the action on that absolute nuke from Duran. And we got ourselves a ball game.
We do indeed. Like I said, expect them to come out aggressive. And I mean, I don't know what's more aggressive than a homer.
Well, that's the first hit of the game for either side. As that'll be a shallow shot over to short. Good back check there from Sumners to grab that for the first out for a good little F6.
Yeah, that was played really well by Sumners. Just backing up, never losing sight of the ball, all the way into the glove.
Yeah, over the offseason, a lot of us were really concerned about, with Robert Kelly graduating, that shortstop position being filled. You know, that those are titanic shoes to fill for one of the best shortstops in all of the CBC last year in Robert Kelly. The Sumners defensively has been really good and was able to draw in a sac fly, so it's all about baby steps. Kelly was a senior last year, so Sumners has got 2 seasons to really fill in those shoes, but defensively he's been all right so far.
You know, this is going to be a game, and you and I were talking about this a little bit last night, Trey, especially in the early season. There's going to be a little bit of growing pains because, they are replacing 4 key bats in their lineup. But this is a good program with a good skipper.
That'll be a shallow slot all the way over to right center. That'll fall down. Guzman was not able to grab that. It'll be a single for Gavin Ross. And the game-tying run right now at home plate in the hands of Bailey Mitra.
That was a good swing right there by Ross. He was able to slow it down a little bit and just absolutely get barrel to the ball on that one. Just sail it right over Guzman's head just for a nice shallow single. Nothing you can do there except tip the cap.
Mitra, the right-handed sophomore, fouls one all the way to the cage. Was 1 for 3 yesterday, got his first hit of the season against the Ravens. It's a big lad.
Yeah, I was about to say that. He's so tall.
There was one kid from Conway Egan Catholic that looked like he was about 6'2".
CJ doesn't have to worry about that.
As that's fouled into Dobkin's glove.
CJ doesn't need any step schools.
So it's 0-2 towards Mitra with Dylan Powers, who hasn't been in the batter's box yet this season so far. Still a young season, the senior who pitched yesterday. Trying to draw in a couple more runs. Mitra will foul this one. Goes back all the way towards the service building. And Mitra will stay alive.
Princeton, it seems like they're kind of settling in. This kid is really tall. He kind of looks like Richie Sexton. It's an old reference.
Moore throws back to Aiden Crowley at first base. Crowley will lead off the bottom of the second once we get to it. It'll be Crowley, Moore, and Dobkin, with Lawrence only 1 batter away from batting around the order. And again, incredibly, there were no hits in that bottom of the third. Lawrence getting 2 hit batters a walk and 2 errors, and a sac fly. And still no hits. That'll go behind Aiden Crowley. Running for second will be Gavin Ross. He's going to go for third as Toto tried to get it there. And actually, Ross is going to stay at second. Was charging for third, but Toto grabbed the ball, was about to Herculean throw it towards Sewell. But he'll stay on.
Can't have that, giving free bases there. Now you got a runner in scoring position.
Will go down as a wild pitch. Are the wild pitch or an error?
Pretty sure it's an error.
Well, that'll be a strikeout looking for Moore's second of the morning. It's the 4th error of the season for the Lord's defense, and considering we're only a game and inning in, again, it's growing pains in the early stages of this season.
Well, I mean, you also got to keep in mind they got thrown the curveball, pun minorly intended, as we got a foul tip right there for an 0-1 count for Deacon. You know, right before the game started, starting first baseman Andrew Benitez, one of the new additions of the team, he unfortunately slipped and rolled his ankle during defensive drills. So you know, Aiden coming in at the last second, you know, that is also going to like kind of, you know, cause a couple disruptions. Like right there, as we got another cut for an 0-2 count.
And that's going to make things interesting in terms of relieving, because I believe Aiden Crowley is slated as the reliever today. That might shift over to Ben Hogger with this injury towards Benitez. We hope it's nothing serious, but I unfortunately couldn't come at a worse time with this schedule we've got, as Powers fouls one into the cage once again. This schedule for Lawrence in the openings this opening week. You got Princeton Day today. They're at West Windsor North on Monday. They're home against West on Tuesday. Then they're at Hopewell Valley on Thursday. Then at Pennington on Saturday. So a lot of back and forth. It's a drop third strike for Powers. Will go down as a K, and able to get over the first base was Drew Dobkin. That'll end the side. 3 strikeouts on the afternoon so far for the young junior. But Princeton Day does strike. A solo shot for A.J. Duran. Brings us back to a 2-run game. We'll go to the bottom of the second with Aiden Crowley, Deacon Moore, and Drew Dobkin due up for Lawrence when we come back to Cardinals baseball on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
Crowley, Moore, and Drew Dobkin due up for Lawrence as we welcome you back to Sonny Natakis Field for the home opener for the Lawrence Cardinals. They lead 3-1 over the Princeton Day Panthers as Aiden Crowley fouls one over. That actually dropped out of the glove of Luke Hahn. I want to go back to that home run there from A.J. Duran, as during the break, one of the parents came over and talked with us a little bit. Duran is only 13 years old, and he just hit a solo shot. It's a good run from Aiden Crowley, gets it over to Kelman. Here's the play at first, not in time, as able to get there was Mitra. Crowley tried to catch the infield, sleeping a little bit on the bunt, unsuccessful. Put out with a 1-3 grounder.
I like that attempt right there by Crowley. You know, he's got a little bit of speed, so if he gets on base, that immediately is going to be distraction to the pitcher. It just didn't work out there.
So that'll bring the top of the order back around for Deacon Moore, who was 0 for 1 today. Still looking for his first on-base appearance of the season. Took a good hack at that. Kelman just trying to get in a groove here on the mound as Princeton Day within striking distance of Lawrence. They trail by 2 runs. It's a 3-1 game. Floater outside didn't fool Demo. He'll draw even in the count, 1-1.
Shoulder high right there. He saw it from a mile away. Great eye right there. Hopefully he's really looking for something to mash.
Princeton Day in the last couple of years hasn't been too successful of a program. They were really good back in the 2010s and the 2000s, where they were one of the powerhouses in Mercer County and the Colonial Valley Conference. Right now, starting the season 0-2, but they've been in as the 3rd hit batter of the morning for Cameron Kelman, and it puts Deacon Moore on base for the first time this season.
does make you wonder at one point do you just like start like warming up a reliever because like that's also kind of a control thing. I understand he's a freshman, he's a little nervous. You want to make him work out some nerves, but it's 3 hit batters. You don't want to get any of these kids hurt.
All right, let's see if he can bring it back.
Well, that'll put Moore on first, and trying to catch him stealing was Hahn. He fired it over towards Mitra, but Moore was able to just dive back in time. As Dobkin will take his spot at the plate about 3 feet in front of where he typically sits defensively as the catcher. Runner going, and that's going to be a very unfortunate double play unassisted. Moore was going, and Dobkin hit it right over to Mitra, who grabbed it and stood back on first for the unassisted double play.
Nothing you could do about that one.
Just an unlucky cut right there, leading to an unlucky play. It is what it is.
So that'll end the second, with Lawrence still up 3-1 over Princeton Day. Mason Reutberg, Tino Signorella, and Keegan Fulman due up for Princeton Day when we come back to Lawrence Cardinals baseball on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC 2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
We're back for the top of the third inning. Lawrence 3, Princeton Day 1 on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRC 2. Trey Wright, Matt Brown, and CJ Jackson bringing you coverage of today's home opener for Lawrence as they look to get their first win of the season. As Mason Reutberg fouls out all the way towards my car in the parking lot. A lot of cars today for a lot of spectators for both sides. As Reutberg goes down on the count 0-1, was 1 for 2 yesterday against Robbinsville, hitting .333 on the season so far. And a fastball nearly goes to the back of the cage. Dobkin able to block it. Wouldn't have meant anything if it did. That'll be 1-1. Make that 2-1 for Deacon Moore.
Low and away. Just trying to trick people probably out of the zone. Coach Mark did note to Deacon. A lot of stuff was finding belt high, so he's probably trying to trick him a little bit.
That's popped towards the parking lot once again. It'll remain, it will be even at 2-2. Reutberg, a right-handed sophomore. Trying to get Princeton Day back into this battle. They're within 2 runs in this 3-1 game thanks to a solo shot from A.J. Duran. Ground ball right towards Sumners. He'll get it over to Aiden Crowley. Throws a little short, but he's able to get back on first in time. It'll be a good little 6-3 grounder for the first out of the side.
That's a deceptively long throw from short all the way over to first. But nonetheless, he's still able to make it. Crowley's able to make the scoop, and that's a 1-out play. That's a great put out right there by this defense.
Top of the order back up as Tino Signorella will step in, ground it out to second. The right-handed senior will go ahead in the count 1-0. Signorella, a 4-year senior on this program, evens the count at 1. His batting .250 was 1 through 3 with an RBI yesterday in the 6-2 loss against Robbinsville. And both of these games for Princeton Day have been close, as that'll go right over to Guzman. He's not able to get it down. That'll be a good grab for Tino Signorella, his first hit of the afternoon, and the game-tying run will once again be at home.
He was able to trap it right there so that it didn't go out into the outfield in case he caught more damage, but unfortunately just was able to sneak right under his glove right there. You know, still in the infield, we're still getting used to, new positions, but it'll work itself out. This is a good coach program.
Yeah, Yariel Guzman taking over for Riley Rivera in that second base position. And we saw Riley struggle a lot last year as well. Second base is one of the hardest positions to play in baseball.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Especially with all the right-handed hitters, especially in this area. So as Keegan Fulman steps into the box, it's a 1-0 count, and Moore's going to throw back to first. So we're going to pause for 10 seconds for station identification on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC 2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
Watch 2, boys, watch 2.
Oh, he bobbled it.
So a fielder's choice grounder from Keegan Fulman extends Signorella into scoring position, a 6-3. Actually, are they gonna call Signorella safe?
He was safe.
They did. I don't think Crowley was on the bag. So what was gonna be a fielder's choice ends up putting 2 runners on the bags, one in scoring position with Signorella at first, and back-to-back singles given up by Deacon Moore.
Well, after 2 clean innings here with the infield, no errors, back-to-back plays. Guzman couldn't get the ball in the glove. We had Seawill, little bobble on the transfer.
High scoring bunt, but not able to get there was Moore. He tripped over on the mound. Everybody's safe. 1 out is on the board. And the biggest jam of the morning, now afternoon for Deacon Moore, as coming up to the plate will be A.J. Duran, who homered in his last at-bat.
Yeah, Coach Marr did not like that. That was popped up into the air. Deacon had enough time to go get it, but he tried to dive for it for some reason. Played a little bit of hero ball, and then Sebo tried to as well. There was no one covering third. It's a really confusing set of events for this Cardinal team. So now we got bases loaded with 1 out.
So that's 3 singles in a row as Duran lines one all the way over to second. And I'll score 1 on the fielder's choice to make it a 3-2 game. But 2 runners in scoring position with 2 away in the top of the third. And Lawrence in a lot of trouble right now as these defensive errors really costing them a lot.
Yeah, a couple of costly plays right there by Lawrence. They're able to get the force out right there. They got to hone in so that they can limit the damage.
So that'll put Keegan Fulman at third and Luke Hahn at second. Hahn for the Panthers, as that'll bring Vince Phyllis up to bat for the 2nd time today. Flew out to Seneca Sumners. He'll line 1 shallow into left field. Racing back forward is Vakrowski. He's under it. He'll make the grab, and he ends the run for the Panthers. Princeton Day draws within 1, but Lawrence still out front as we go to the middle of the third. When we come back, it's the heart of the order for the Cardinals. Poot, Toto, and Williver up for Lawrence on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
The Cardinals surviving their biggest jam of the afternoon so far. 2 runners in scoring position. Josh Vakrowski able to make a flyout. To keep Lawrence in the lead, they lead 3-2 over Princeton Day here on 107.7 The Bronc Retro. And this is an opportunity for Lawrence to try to get not only their first hit of the afternoon, but try to drive a little bit ahead. Take advantage of this inexperienced infield for the Tigers. It's a 3-2 ball game off of a couple of defensive mishaps back in that top of the third inning. As Pooh took one, thought it was a little inside. Umpire says otherwise.
Yeah, Poot really tightened up and stiffened up there. Surprised.
Looked like it was right near his belt. I mean, I can't say anything because the umpiring that we saw yesterday for Conway League and Catholic was very terrible. That's all I'll say on that. Chopper right over to first. Mitra's got it. He'll get it for the third, or the ground out, the third, or first.
I will say credit to the young freshman for Princeton Day. He has really settled in on this not easy lineup for Lawrence. I know that they're still bringing in new pieces defensively, but offensively, this is still a pretty steady lineup. So, you got to give credit to the young freshman. He has really settled down since that first inning.
So 1's away in the bottom of the third inning. Lawrence still looking for their first hit of the afternoon, as Toto took one outside. Lawrence does have 3 runs, as it's just been error central from both of these teams today so far. Both squads with 2 E's on the scorecard, and are only here in the bottom of the third inning. Toto was able to get on base with an E6 and was able to score what is right now the go-ahead run.
Let's see him shoot one in the gap here.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. It looks like, though, Kelman's trying to avoid him. Everything's been up and away.
Yeah.
You get the scouting report on Toto. He's the only senior in the lineup right now. He's got a 3-0 count. We'll see if he gets the green light here. He won't. 4-pitch walk for Toto.
Yeah, he didn't want any of him.
And he'll get on the bases for the second time today.
Really interested to see what Connor Williver does, as we almost saw him launch one at his last at-bat. So it'll be really interesting, as now we're taking a little bit of a break as Princeton Day's manager goes out there to talk to Kelman.
Eric Schneff will go out to the mound for a little bit of a meeting with Kelman and Hahn. And we'll take a quick moment to once again remind everybody that the 107.7 The Bronc Radiothon is going on right now as we speak. It'll be going on until 10 a.m. Monday morning with the conclusion of Wake Up Rider. I believe our goal right now is about to raise $20,000. We smashed the initial $10,000 goal before the Radiothon even started yesterday. I think we hit 1,500 just this morning right before we went on air. So our new goal is now 20 grand towards the radio station, all funds going towards new equipment and being able to get everybody the best radio experience possible here at the Bronc. If you want to donate, for any Lawrence parents listening in right now, if you're a fan of baseball listening in, want to support the radio station, the FM station, and the retro station here at 107.7 The Bronc, go to 1077thebronc.com/radiothon. Click on donate.
Oh,
Hahn tried to catch Toto stealing there as Mitra was able to block just enough of it for it to not all the way have a siesta all the way in the outfield.
Yeah, he trapped it just enough where Teak wasn't able to go. If that went a little further, Teak would have been gone, and that would have been a runner on second with 1 out.
He's one of the fastest kids on the team. See, 4 years of varsity program action for Teak Toto. Hard to believe he's already a senior. That one's outside for the 2-1. Making a 3-1 count for Connor Williver.
really good spot here. Let's see if he can drive one.
We'll see if he gets the green light.
Remember, he drove two very, very far down the line before getting plunked last at bat. See if he can do it again.
See if he gets the green light here. He does. Grounder down the third line. Toto on first, 1 away in the bottom of the third. Lawrence up 3-2 over Princeton Day. A little bit of a slow start for the offense, who was shut out by Conway League and Catholic yesterday. So able to get 3 in the bottom of the third, or the first inning.
There
A
goes.
home run, as that's going to get plugged into right field. Could this go into the gap? On the run back for it was Duran. He makes the grab.
That was very well played out in the outfield there.
A beautiful backhanded grab there from A.J. Duran. It's the freshman putting himself together a really good resume-worthy day here today. A running grab that we've seen Teak Toto make a couple of times last season. Got a home run and had a 4-3 fielder's choice to draw in a run, so he's got 2 RBIs on the afternoon so far. Again, it's hard to imagine that this kid is only 13 years old, and if he stays with Princeton Day, I think it's fair to say that the Panthers have definitely got themselves a really, really, really top talent in right field.
Absolutely, like he really hustled over there, and like the hat came off and everything. Like I can't believe that kid is a freshman. That's wild.
I can't believe that he's 13. He's essentially in 7th grade. As the relay over to second, not nearly in time, Toto's able to get all the way over to scoring position.
Better throw. I think they would have got him there.
Yeah.
That was a little too late on the delayed steal by Teak.
He thought about it a little bit and then decided to go on a little bit of a bobble there from Hahn behind the plate. It will put another runner in scoring position for the Cardinals, which was a big issue last year. It was all the runners that they had on second and third, but not able to get them home. Especially in the playoffs, we saw them struggle with that a lot. Big thing to fix this year is just getting runners home, fixing that issue. 2-0 towards Josh Vakrowski, who was hit by a pitch in his last offering. He'll take a changeup that goes right down Broad Street to even the count, or to having the count out, 2-1.
He seems to know that he let that one go by him as he nodded his head after maybe he saw something there that he likes.
Again, this is a spot in the game where you just want to be patient, especially with a freshman pitcher, as he'll go 3-1. I don't think that Vakrowski will get the green light here. We'll have to see if he does. It's 2 away, runner on second. Unless you get a perfect pitch right down the alley. I really don't think Vakrowski's swinging here. 3-1 on the way. Outside and high and away. Ball 4 towards Vakrowski. That'll put him on the bags.
It kind of seems like they're trying to avoid or paint the corners with some of the heart of that lineup that you were talking about, Trey. As this is the third batter in a row that got at least a 3-1 count on Kelvin. So it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do now as we get to the bottom of the lineup. Maybe they're just going to go at them.
It's the third walk of the afternoon for Kelman. As driving that one into shallow right, that's going to go foul into the bullpen by Sumners. Sumners has 1 RBI today, a sac fly back in the bottom of the first. For his first plate appearance of the afternoon, Yariel Guzman and Aiden Crowley on deck and in the hole as we approach the midway point in today's game. Absolutely perfect day to have the home opener here at sunny Natakis. A little hotter than we've had in the last couple of days. Mercury's reading about 75 degrees. That goes up near Sumners' head. He'll go even at 1 with 2 away. Lawrence leading 3-2 with runners on first and second. A little bit of wind here. You can hear it a little bit in our microphones, but not really a cloud in the sky. Mostly sunny with a couple of cirrus clouds all the way up in the stratosphere. And that'll plunk Sumners. Right in the back, another batter plunked. Bases loaded with 2 away, and it's another jam for Kelman.
It's the 4th batter plunked today. Like, I know they're kids, but at a certain point, what are we doing?
It's definitely the inexperience that's showing a little bit. You got a freshman pitcher. He's never pitched at a high school level.
You're right.
Now you got him loaded.
And a big spot for Yariel Guzman to be in, who is 0 for 1 today with a fly out to second. Nice little line drive to double up the score would be great for Guzman's first hit of the year. It was 0 for 1 yesterday. He's trying to play a little bit smart. He'll line one. Gets all the way over to Signorella, makes the flip over to second. And the Cardinals strand 3 on a 6-4 ground out. Good news is Lawrence is still up 3-2 as we go to the road half of the 4th. Here on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTBS TV.
And that was the captain of this Lawrence ship, Jim Mayer, that just brought us back from break here as we begin the 4th inning. On 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRC2. Trey Wright, Matt Brown, and CJ Jackson on the call today. Matt, glad to have you back as he's filling in for Lindsay Scrollas. Lindsay moving up to the 2 seat.
Not just moving up to the 2 seat, also moving up to the sports director chair.
Absolutely, is a good pitch right towards Gavin Ross from Deacon Moore.
Also, fun facts about Lindsay. Lindsay edited and put together the reel that helped us get nominated for an Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Media Award.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't brought that up yet as a foul tip goes into the glove of Dobkin for the 0-2 towards Ross.
Let's do some navel gazing, Trey. We got nominated for an award.
Yeah. All of our broadcasts last year were nominated for an Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Media Award for Best Baseball Broadcast. It's a 3-pitch strikeout for Moore's 3rd of the afternoon. It was a good start for this road half of the 4th.
It's got to be great for the confidence, especially considering how wonky that inning was. But he was sitting for a little bit with that long bottom inning right there, so hopefully he was able to talk to the coach. Hopefully he was able to reconfigure things and get back in this inning. As now here comes the 0-0, as gets right in there for a 1-0. Great pitch right there by Deacon.
Mitra struck out looking last time.
This dude looks like he plays for Michigan on their basketball team.
Essentially their hockey team, as that'll go inside. It was 4 straight strikes for Deacon Moore, and my head was like, you know what, might have an immaculate inning here, much like Aiden Poot almost had. Was 1 pitch away from an immaculate inning last year.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Line drive straight over to second. Guzman's got it covered. He'll get it all the way over to Aiden Crowley. Nice little routine 4-3, 2 away.
Again, you love seeing that after a wonky inning like the 3rd, getting the confidence back, getting those easy outs, Not trying to do too much, just get the easy 1, get the easy 2, and hopefully we get the easy 3.
Cardinals looking for their first win of the season. That fouled to the back of the cage by Dylan Powers, who's 0 for 1 this afternoon.
You know what Mike Tomlin always says? Make routine plays routinely.
Your favorite coach, your favorite team, right, CJ?
That's right.
That'll be a line drive straight over to Sumner as he's not able to grab it. But he's able to get all the way over for the 6-3 anyway. So it won't be a fly out, but it'll be a 6-3 ground out. But either way, 1-2-3 go the Panthers. The first 1-2-3 inning for the Cardinals since the top of the first. We're looking to get a little bit of mojo here as we go to the home half of the fourth. Coming up for the Lawrence Cardinals, Aiden Crowley, Deacon Moore, and Drew Dobkin due up for Lawrence when we come back to Cardinals baseball on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC 2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
Bottom of the fourth on deck for the Lawrence Cardinals as we come back to Cardinals baseball on 107.7 The Bronc Retro. Lawrence up 3-2 going into the fourth inning as Aiden Crowley, a little late on the swing there, as a 9-hitter will come up for the Cardinals.
Crowley, he's sneaky good when he gets on base, so you definitely do not want to get him on, let him sneak on base, because he will definitely nab a bag or two as that one gets a little low right there.
Be a 1-1 count for Aiden Crowley, who grounded out right back over to Kelman, flipped it over to first. And they'll quickly go down, another swinging strike. Didn't see a whole lot of Aiden Crowley batting last season. Played mostly at first base whenever Kellen Moore was pitching. And we usually DH for by Connor Williver in that regard. That offering from Kelman goes into the dirt, even count 2-2. And speaking of Kellen Moore, playing a really good starting role over at Lafayette. It's a lot of our seniors from last year at their respective colleges. It's an unfortunate circumstances for Robert Kelly as Aiden Crowley strikes out for the first time today. Kelly had to undergo Tommy John surgery in the offseason and will unfortunately miss his freshman season with the Hawks of Monmouth.
Yeah, hopefully he's able to heal up. Hopefully he takes a medical red shirt, because once he gets out there at the Hawks, they're about to get a great shortstop. A kid who can hit for contact, for power. He's got speed, and he's a heck of a fielder with a heck of an arm.
Riley Rivera doing well in Moravian as well, and I believe Dan Drizga should be playing for TCNJ. I just know that he's with the Lions in general. I believe he should be playing, but all of our alumni across the board here for the Cardinals really tearing it up in their respective leagues and their schools.
Kellen got his own graphic on his first game because it was not long after Kellen Moore of the Saints got hired, so they were like, hey, Kellen here, Kellen there. It was fun.
His younger brother, Deacon Moore, quickly goes 2-1 in the count. And for Crowley's strikeout, that was the first career strikeout for Cameron Kelman. Come here today on March 29th, 2025 for the young freshman from Princeton Day. 3-1 towards Moore, who's looking to get on base for the second time today. 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. Wasn't able to get to second. He's caught that double play there from Drew Topkin back in the bottom of the second. Fastball right down the gullet.
I think Deacon thought that one was away.
Yeah. Third time through the order for Cameron Kelman, but he's starting to get into a little bit of a groove here. Got his first strikeout.
Ooh.
And as we're talking about them, right in the number in the back, hit batter number 5, I think we're at for Kelman. And that'll put Moore on the bags for the second time today. Yeesh.
Is that the second stinger for him, too?
It is.
Yikes. Got him an ice pack after this. Is that 5?
That is 5.
Wow.
I didn't realize I got to start a track, because I'm tracking walks, I'm tracking strikeouts. I never had to track hit batters before, but
There's movement in the Panthers bullpen over there.
I was just about to say, because that was the point I was about to make with the whole, the whole third time through the order. Kelman's getting to a groove and then immediately hits Moore square in the back. I was trying to catch him napping a little bit there. At first were Kelman and Mitra.
Let's see if they get a little more lucky this time.
We'll see if Dobkin is able to try to get one out of the infield here. As Dobbs is 0 for 1 today with a double play, was able to get a walk, and that drew the opening run today. Dobkin usually batted towards the bottom of the order to give Lawrence a little bit of power. Lines one all the way into right field. That'll go down for at least one. And Mercer, the Cardinals, I'm still partially on hockey mode.
It's all good. It's
for
all
the Mercer
good.
Chiefs.
I was about to say that was a good dunk right there. I'm stuck in basketball.
We're in
It's all
Mercer
good.
County. That was a good slicing shot there for Lawrence's first hit of the afternoon. It goes to Drew Dobkin for a stand-up single, and it looks like Schneff is going to see enough of Cameron Kelman, who gives up 1 hit, 5 plunk batters, 3 walks, and 3 runs so far today, as we've got a runner in scoring position with 1 away. And it's going to be a wholesome mound meeting. We'll see if Schneff will pull his starter.
Man, I think, yep.
And it looks like he will. So that'll be the end of the day for Kelman. Not terrible in terms of runs given up. He only gave up 3.
He really bounced back after that first inning. He really settled in, and he honestly provided a lot of difficulties for this Lawrence matchup. So, hey man, that's a freshman who knows how to bounce back from a rough first. Again, if these are all youngins on Princeton Day, then this is a team that you probably need to keep an eye on going forward. Then. Because again, Trey, and like I'm also looking at the lineup too, but Trey, I think you said a good amount of them are underclassmen.
They are. 2/3 of the lineup underclassmen, 3 of them are freshmen, if you had a freshman pitcher. So this team is going to be good for a long time.
Deep talent pool.
Definitely is. Like we saw with the Cardinals last year and the year before that, with this class of 26 core really coming up through the ranks. But Ryan Zielsman, the left-handed pitcher, will come in to relieve for Kelman. And it's not something that the Cardinals want to see. They struggled to hit left-handed hitters last year, struggled a little bit in the offseason as well. But first offering in warm-ups for Zielsman will go to the backstop. So we'll have to see how this all shakes up.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
Just got an email from their GM. Where do you want to be, Trey? You want to be right behind the plate?
Depends if they've cleaned the grass behind there, would be my guess. Because I remember last year, weren't able to really be behind the plate with the grass. But I trust the groundskeepers there.
I did actually just get that email too. He wants to know where we want us to go.
I would, because it's also elevated back there and a little shallow. As Zielsman will talk with Hahn real quick, as Poot will step into the box. But this week is chock full of Cardinals action. Then on Wednesday and Thursday, a home and away game back-to-back for the Cardinals. We're home against the Hornets of Hamilton West, and then at Hopewell Valley to take on the Bulldogs at 4:45 and 4 p.m. respectively. We're back on the road for a 3-game road stretch on Saturday, April 5th at the Pennington School to take on the Red Hawks of Pennington, concluding that home stretch on Tuesday, April 8th at Princeton to take on the Tigers. 0-1 towards Aiden Poot, who was 0 for 1 with a grounder to third. 1 out with runners on first and second in a 3-2 ball game for the Cardinals. Deacon Moore on second and Connor Crowley on first, with Aiden Poot trying to drive in a couple of more runs. One's across the board. He'll take a changeup right down the center. Poot pitched in yesterday's 3-0 loss against Conoway Catholic. Went 5 innings, didn't allow any hits. Had 2 runs as that's popped up high up into the air. Racing back underneath it and supporting himself was Mitra. He'll get the second out.
A lot of balls on the inside of the bat by Lawrence, I'm noticing today. So it's a lot of stuff that's getting popped up really high in the air. and really, really shallow. Hopefully that's something they can work on, especially Poot was really sneaky. Like, he was so dominant at on the mound that we forget at how sneaky dominant he was at the plate.
Poot pitched, I believe, about 68 pitches yesterday, so he should be good for Tuesday's contest at West Windsor North. Ball in the dirt towards Toto. Runners will stay at their respective positions in this 3-2 ball game here in the bottom of the fourth.
It's Monday.
It is Monday. I keep confusing my schedule because
It blends
my
together.
only free day next week is Friday.
Oh, nice.
Because we've got 3 Lawrence games. Moore's able to get back to second before being tagged by Signorella. I've got the game on Monday, then a doubleheader for Rider softball on Tuesday against Iona, where they'll take on the Gales. Then 2 straight games on Wednesday and Thursday. And then on Saturday at Pennington. So
Get that money, man. Get that work.
I was trying to get Moore sleeping a little bit at second once again. Were Zielsman and Signorella.
Still hasn't thrown a pitch to Teak yet.
Toto 1-0 right now in this count. Finally throws one toward him. Looper high and away. And I'll jump ahead 2-0.
Head high for Teak right there. Teak is not having to do much. He's just doing a lot of staring. They don't want to pitch to him right now.
Got the scouting report on him. He'll line one straight over to second base. Bobbled there by Reutberg. Not going to mean anything. He'll get it over for the 4-3. The Cardinals are able to get a hit on the score sheet, but they remain up 3-2. We'll go to the 5th inning with Lawrence leading by a run. With the top of the order due up for Princeton Day, Reutberg, Signorella, and Fullman. Up for the Panthers when we come back to Cardinals baseball on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC 2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
We're halfway home in today's home opener on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRC 2. Trey Wright, Matt Brown, and CJ Jackson bringing you coverage of today's contest. Lawrence 3, Princeton Day 2. As we'll go to the top of the 5th inning with Reutberg, Tino Signorella, and Keegan Fullman.
Remember Brett Gardner from New York Yankees? Him and his family went over to another country for vacation. They all got food poisoning and his 14-year-old kid died.
Keep it back here, 9. Let's go. Do a job.
What's up, man? How you doing? Huh? Hanging in there? All right. Well, we're going to see each other in a couple of weeks, huh?
How you doing? You guys have a permit for this?
He said it's okay.
No,
I got a permit. You want it?
gonna have to see that.
Trying to get some outside. Trying to get some shots. I got batter shots. Trying to get some outfield shots. I didn't bring my 500 lens.
Come on, Tino.
Two strike approach.
Let's go. Box, let's go. Come on, Tino. One more. Bobby's dead.
I think Teek's in right.
Let's go. Come on, Diamond. Come on, T.
Yeah, Teek's in left here.
Eyes up. Good reads here. Come on, Keith.
Yeah, that's stick out right. Stick out right. That's that stick out right.
Come on, 4. Down!
You didn't get that picture for me? I'm harassing him, not you.
You were asking him?
Yeah.
That's
You
all right.
next time. You next time.
Well, I did get the picture, but
Okay, there's money in that for you. There's money in that picture for you. We have such a hard time getting action shots.
I pop off 120 photos a second, so I should be able to get something.
Come on, 4. Right.
Come on, Deke.
Stay on top and take it away. Let's go. Compete, 4.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
Here for the home half of the 5th inning, Lawrence 3, Princeton Day 2 on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC 2, Trey Wright, Matt Brown, and CJ Jackson. Bringing you the action. CJ, it's been your first broadcast of your high school career so far. It's your first broadcast of the season. How are you loving that position so far?
I'm having an absolute blast. This is so much fun. Just, I love baseball so much, just being out here, being able to call this team. Seeing some good baseball right now, it's just, I couldn't ask for much more.
It's in a tight game here between these two programs. Princeton Day we're not letting Lawrence get away with a lot here as Connor Williver will hack one. Slow-moving chopper down the third base line goes foul. He'll go down 0-2. Ryan Zielsman on the strike for Princeton Day. Luke Hahn is his catcher. And it's Connor Williver at the plate right now for the 0-2. Fouls one to the backstop. Just over the glove of Hahn. Wasn't able to get that for the strikeout.
Looked like he was trying to pull up there a little bit. Wasn't able to, but he was able to get the cut for the foul tip.
So we'll do it again for Williver. Zielsman gets a sign, left-handed hitter versus a left-handed pitcher versus a right-handed batter. That one nearly went to the backstop again. And Seawill will get one back. Williver's 0 for 1 today with a hit by pitch and a fly out to right. As that'll go all the way out. Hahn makes another nice grab. 2 straight balls will make it an even count for Connor Williver, who's trying to get on base for the second time today. Still looking for his first hit of this young 2025 season. Ground ball didn't even make the dirt patch at home. And Zielsman, who was 1 strike away from getting his first strikeout of the season, suddenly finds himself in a full count.
Good battling back by Williver right there. Staying steady at the box, waiting for his pitch. You love to see it.
I really don't think he'll get the green light here unless he loves his pitch. 3-2 on the way. Tried to take a swing at that, a little late on the swing. And it fell back to the backstop.
I wonder if that one was maybe going to find the zone and he was just trying to get him out, as now we see some more movement in Princeton Day's bullpen.
Looks like Grayson McLaughlin rather, will be going to the pen right now. Still no movement for Lawrence. Another ball in the dirt puts Williver on base for the second time this afternoon. And the insurance run 270 feet away from home plate.
Still just a 1-run lead. Lawrence is getting a lot of chances, so hopefully they're able to get something going, as now it seems like we got a pinch runner for Williver. For courtesy runner, forgive me.
Yeah.
Too many uncompetitive pitchers from Zielsman here.
Got to try and find some in the zone.
I believe that's Max Edgar, who's wearing number 5 this season. One of the only freshmen on this team, young crop of talent for the class of 2028. You know, Matt, I know that you've returned to college. You were class of what, 2012?
We don't need to say it. We don't need to say it.
And it looks like that might be the end of the day for Zielsman, and it will be.
I wonder if he's hurt because he came out really, really quick. They got the pitcher in there, in and out. So, I mean, in terms of his replacement. So I wonder if there's something going there. Might need to keep an eye on that.
And it will be Grayson McLaughlin going on the stripe to pitch here this afternoon. So we'll get a pitching change here as McLaughlin, 2.2 innings pitched so far this season. He's allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, a walk, 3 strikeouts, and an ERA of 15.75. And he was the starting pitcher in last year's 14-0 loss where he went 2 innings, allowed 7 hits, 10 runs. Half of those were earned. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and an ERA of 17.5 as well. So a little bit of a rough outing in the rain for last year's contest at home in that 14-0 perfect game from Aiden Poot. Lawrence knows how to get some hits off of this pitcher. We'll see if McLaughlin is able to see the scouting report on all of these guys' strike zones, a lot of their tells, and see what's what.
Hopefully some of these batters remember him from last year. Hopefully he didn't change too much stuff over and they're able to have similar success where they're able to get some bat to balls and get some gents on base.
It's actually going to be Ethan Graham who will step on the base paths as the courtesy runner for Connor Williver.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
So we'll bring up Josh Verkrosky, the first batter, who will face McLaughlin. Verkrosky is not registered an at-bat yet today. Has reached first base twice with a hit by pitch and a walk. And he'll take one downstairs on the first offering from McLaughlin. Princeton Day does lead in the hit category. 3 hits on the afternoon, 2 of them coming in the top of the 3rd. Lawrence with only 1 hit on a team that the last time they played them last year, I believe they had something like 7 hits in that first inning.
Seemed like a hitting bonanza. That was a fun game.
Yeah, they had 5 hits in the first inning, 4 in the 3rd.
We kind of got
and then
spoiled
3
at the
more.
Game. We got spoiled at the gate because I think, wasn't that like their 3rd 10-plus run game?
It was something like that. Not a whole lot of offense for Lawrence as Verkrosky goes 3-1. You know, remembering last season, the really good pitching for Lawrence and a lot of offense from their seniors. Verkrosky will go to first base. That'll put Graham at second in scoring position. They'll bring Seneca Sumners with nobody out, 2 on. And a good opportunity for the Cardinals to extend their lead a little bit here with Seneca Sumners, who has been having a career game so far today. Got a sac fly and a hit by pitch. So he doesn't have an at-bat registered against him yet. He's had a couple of really good snags defensively. Putting himself as a top candidate for the MVC, Most Valuable Cardinal of the game so far, the way things stand. He'll lay a nice bunt that just tinkered a little bit foul down the third base line.
I'm glad that we live in an era where I've lived long enough to see the bunt go away in popularity and then come right back. Who doesn't love a good bunt every once in a while, especially in some high school ball? I do love bunting. It's so much fun.
Well, so do Yankees fans. That's why they consistently call into 880 to complain why the Yankees not bunting. Let's play small ball. Why didn't they win early enough? As that one will trickle foul from Summers again on another bunt attempt, so we'll go 0-2.
I can't speak to my constituents, okay, Trey? I can only speak to myself.
Graham at second, Verkrosky at first, Sumner's on with nobody out. Here's the The offering from McLaughlin. He'll take one down low. This one, that was lost by Hahn. Sumners was waving on Graham, but he didn't get the sign in time.
That was a missed opportunity right there by the Cardinals. I think that's part of the groin.
I feel like I like that no steal because Hahn was able to get it back in time. That'll be a dribbler that goes back over to McLaughlin. He'll get it all the way over to first in time. It'll be a fielder's choice going against Sumners, but he'll put the runners in scoring position. Ducks on a pond for Lawrence with one away, and he'll bring up Connor Crowley. Will come in for Yariel Guzman to pinch hit.
Who doesn't love a duck and who doesn't love ponds? I do love whenever you call it ducks on ponds, especially just how you say it, Trey. Trey, I got bad news for you. Once you graduate, you're going to get a lot of jobs.
Hopefully see that way is Connor Crowley, who was 0 for 1 in yesterday's contest against Conwell Egan, flew out to the second baseman. Crowley brothers at the plate and on deck right now. With one away in the bottom of the 5th inning, Lawrence leads 3-2 over Princeton Day. Runners in scoring position on 3rd and 2nd. Crowley sees one low and outside. Crowley, who was a pinch hitter for the majority of last season, takes a healthy hack at that, was fooled on the changeup. The count is even at 1.
They moved his feet a little too quick there, so yeah, he definitely got a little quick. He got a little trick there. Hopefully he can slow down and he can hopefully give us something that knocks in some runs for Lawrence.
And Graham was caught. No, that's going to go behind Phyllis.
Oh,
Graham, very confused, running on the base pass. Here's the play at the plate. He is out. And a big mistake from the freshman puts 2 away in the bottom of the 1st, in the bottom of the 5th. And Princeton Day dodging a bullet there, nearly putting this game nearly out of reach here. And that was just mental confusion on the base pass there from Graham, called out stealing at home off of what would have been an error. That'll loop outside for Connor Crowley. It does advance Josh Vakrowski to 3rd. So it does put the insurance run 90 feet away from the plate. Crowley with a 3-1 hitters count. McLaughlin trying to get out of the jam. 3-1 on the way, make it 3-2.
Two on to no out, to 1 on to 2 out with a full count. You really don't want to see them walk away without a run here.
Full count with 2 away. Crowley on the 3-2. Inside, but they're going to call it a strikeout looking. And the opportunities for the Cardinals not able to be capitalized upon. 2 runners in scoring position, both of them not able to reach home. And yeesh, not what you want from a Cardinals team that blew out Princeton Day 14-0 last year. And we'll go to the 6th with the Panthers still trailing by 1 here. Fulman, Hahn, and Duran will come up for the Panthers when we come back to Cardinals baseball on 107.7 The Bronc Retro WRRC 2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
You know what I mean? There you go.
Top of the 6th inning from Sonny Natakis Field. The Cardinals 3, the Panthers 2 on 107.7 The Bronc Retro WRRC 2. Trey Wright, Matt Brown, and CJ Jackson bringing you the action here this afternoon. Matt, glad to have you back for the home opener, but you'll be riding off into the sunset a little bit here after this season. Lindsey Scarola moving up to the 2 seed and be on a couple of times here to fill in.
Hey man, I'm just glad I got to. I mean, I'm still gonna be coming and watching the game, especially Allentown.
Allentown game on April 10th. That'll be a game that everybody has circled on their calendar. And it's a little bit of a predicament there.
I actually was going to be engineering that game. I intentionally took myself off so I could go to that game. that'll be a good game, especially considering how Allentown, they're also adjusting since their big slugger, Jack Sweeney, who he is having an okay start to his career at Rutgers. You know, it's they also got to adjust. So, you know, these two big powerhouses, these two battle of the birds.
And Luke Hahn will go down swinging for the first out of this 6th inning. And we mentioned Allentown as A.J. Duran will come on here. You know, we mentioned Allentown. They're off to a very, very slow start. 0-2 against West Windsor, Plainsboro South, and Nottingham. Dom Enzilla was not in the lineup for either of them. Enzilla was looking to be one of the top players in the county this season. And not sure what the situation was there. When we know, we will let everybody know, but that'll definitely be a storyline to follow the closer we get to April 10th here when the Redbirds come to Sonny Natakis Field. Lawrence has not beaten Allentown at home since 2015, if I'm not mistaken. 2012 was the last time Lawrence won against Allentown at home. 1-1 towards A.J. Duran, who is 1 for 2 with a home run and a fielder's choice.
Deacon looks like he has plenty of gas left. Still firing it in there.
I'm looking on perfect game about Enzilla.
Great pitch there by Deacon.
7th strikeout of the afternoon from Moore, and it's 2 away in the 6th.
Deacon is really finding it at the end of the game. You really love seeing that, especially considering we keep checking to see if there's going to be any movement in the bullpen, but there's not. Deacon is really mowing them down. He's having a good game. Good for Deacon.
And they're going towards the bottom of the order for Princeton Day. They just got striking out their big man there was Duran. That'll get fouled towards the service building. Takes a little bit of a whack off the roof of it for the first time this season, as Vince Phillips will go down on the count 0 for 1. 2 flyouts on the day for Phillips, who's 0 for 2. Trying to get the Panthers, wrong cat team, back into the contest. Lawrence does play Princeton on the road in about a week and a half on April 8th before they're back home against Allentown on the 10th. A lot of baseball and not a whole lot of days.
Coach Murray's getting really frustrated at the ump. He didn't love that call there.
It's a lot better than yesterday. Believe me when I say this, it is so much better than yesterday, as a swing strike for Phillips puts him down to his final strike. 2's on the board here, with Lawrence leading by 1.
I believe the quote from Trey Wright yesterday was he made Angel Hernandez look like Joe West.
That's skied into center field. Going back for it is Poot. He's on the run. He's got in his sights, and he'll make the fly out in center. So 1, 2, 3 once again for the Cardinals. They keep Princeton Day at bay. They'll be in the batter's box for what will hopefully be the final time this afternoon, looking to get a little bit of insurance on this PDS team. Ben Hogger, Deacon Moore, and Drew Dobkin due up for the Cardinals when we come back to Lawrence Baseball on 107.7 The Bronc Retro WRRC 2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTBS TV.
Bottom of the 6th inning. Up here for the Cardinals on 107.7 The Bronc Retro. 3-2, Lawrence leads over Princeton Day. Lawrence looking to get their first win of the season after falling 3-0 to Conwell Egan Catholic on the road in Yardley yesterday afternoon. It's actually going to be Aiden Crowley who will lead things off in the bottom of the 6th. Inside pitch, doubles up the count for Crowley, 2-0. Crowley is 0-2 this afternoon with a ground out and a strikeout. Took one that looked a little inside. It looked exactly like the last pitch, but this one will be registered as a strike. 2-1 count for Crowley. Quickly makes it 2-2, and now the favor shifts towards McLaughlin.
Hopefully they're able to tag something on here. They were really close last inning, got nothing. Hopefully they're able to get something.
Foul ball bounces right towards Deacon Moore, who will toss it back over to Luke Hahn. Lawrence trying to put this game out of reach, especially given this lineup coming from the Panthers. Gavin Ross, Bailey Mitra, and Dylan Powers. Only 1 hit of those 3 hitters so far this afternoon. They are 1 for 6 with 3 strikeouts, 2 groundouts, and a hit there from Ross back in the top of the 2nd. Remains 2-2. Here's the offering from McLaughlin. Strikeout got him. Gonna bring the top of the order back up with Deacon Moore up to bat for the 4th time today.
Trey, forgive the silliness of this question. How many hits does Lawrence actually
1.
have? That's amazing. High school baseball, baby.
Not a whole lot of offensive firepower, but Lawrence does lead 3-2. Also, a couple of innings in that first inning that really put Princeton Day behind the 8 ball throughout the majority. And trying to get a second hit there was Deacon Moore. Goes right over to Signorella. Dart over to Mitra. Quickly 2 away. So as Drew Dobkin will step into the batter's box, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification here on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC 2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
We're back here as Drew Dobkin had a ball go right past him towards the backstop. He'll jump ahead in the count 1-0 as the only batter for the Cardinals to have a hit this afternoon. Lawrence still leads 3-2. Lawrence trying to take advantage of the strike zone here. They got a lot of walks. They had 5 batters plunked in this game. 2 errors from Princeton Day, like we were saying, 2 errors from Princeton Day back in the bottom of that first inning. Allowed 3 runs to score. If those errors don't happen, it's a much tighter game as Dobkin will go to first on a 4-pitch walk. That'll bring up Aiden Poot.
I do think that's been the difference about this Lawrence team compared to Princeton. They've been really, really good in the box. They've been keeping a good eye on the ball, and it's led to that many opportunities. Yes, they got lucky with some hit batters, but how many walks are they doing?
6 walks and 5 plunked batters. 11 batters on the bases today.
They're being really patient, and I think
not to hits.
Look, the patience, though, is paying off because it's helped lead them to a 3-2 lead right now, which you love to see, and hopefully that translates over going into the season, especially considering when they have difficulty at the dish. It's just always remembering to stay patient, and eventually your pitch will come.
That'll bring up Aiden Poot, who is 0 for 3 today. He's able to get a run across with an error, grounder and a flyout as he'll foul one to the service building again. Well, if Lawrence is able to close this out, we'll have to see who's going to be our MVC, most valuable Cardinal of the day. And right now, the way that things stand, it's going to be close between Deacon Moore and Seneca Sumners. Moore, who has kept Princeton Day at bay so far, as nearly getting tagged was, I believe that's Ben Hogger, who is courtesy running for Drew Dobkin.
There goes.
Runner going. Hogger trying to slide down. He's in there in time. A beautiful stolen base for Hogger. And it puts a runner in scoring position with 1s on the board for Aiden Poot.
Great steal right there. He's got good length on him and good speed, so he was able to get in there really easy. Had a good jump. Now you got runners in scoring position with 2 out with Aiden Poot.
1-1 towards Poot. And that hit him right on the arm and puts runners on first and second and brings up the cleanup hitter of Teak Toto. Another great opportunity for Lawrence to try to get a little bit of insurance going towards the 7th with the heart of their order coming up to the plate. Eric Schneff is going to talk to his closer for a little bit here with 2 outs. Lawrence leading 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. The way the things stand, would just need to get 3 outs in order to get their first win of the season and warm themselves up for taking on the Knights of West Windsor Plainsboro North Monday afternoon.
Some insurance would be nice here. Be good to see if they can blow this game open with Teak up to bat here.
And now it's 6 walks and 6 batters hit today. Look like the New York Mets from a couple of years ago have been the Cardinals. So that'll bring up Teak Toto. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run. McLaughlin keeping Hogger honest at second. It's Toto trying to bring his cows home from the pasture. Curveball right down Broadway, and he looked to take a hack at that. Good opportunity for the Cardinals. They're able to get a couple of runs here. That'll be fouled right down the first base side. And it quickly puts him in an 0-2 hole.
Hopefully he can find something there. Get something going. He's looking hungry at that dish. 0-2, 2 outs. Haven't done
there hasn't been a whole lot of healthy fastballs from these guys. A lot of these pitches that have been in there, you know, they've either been really inside or really outside. 0-2 on the way towards Toto. Fastball up and in. He'll get one back. Slow start to the season offensively for Lawrence. He'll pull one right into the gap in center field. That'll bring at least one run home. Going for second will be Poot. He'll get all the way over to third, and it's an RBI single for the senior. And the Cardinals make it a 4-2 game.
That's all you needed right there. You just needed one hit to get something going, and that gets them one extra run for a little bit of insurance, and you got runners on first, runners on third, and we know that Teak likes to run, so they could maybe pull out maybe another rabbit out of the hat and get another run right there as we got Sewell coming to the plate. Hopefully something more can happen, but that was great hitting right there by Teak and great base running by these Cardinals.
Wilver's 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch and a walk. Would love to blow this game open here in the bottom of the 6th inning. McLaughlin will get a sign from Hahn. And Wilver's going to call a quick timeout here. Steal coming here from Toto, and Hahn's not even going to make the opportunity. Going to put ducks on a pond for Lawrence with big bad Connor Williver up in the box and trying to make this a 6-2 game with any sort of contact.
Hopefully he doesn't find something in the zone, otherwise it's going to get blown wide open for Lawrence.
0-1 on the way, making an 0-2. Lawrence able to get a run with the insurance off of that RBI single from Teak Toto. Runners in scoring position. Poot on third, Toto on second. Ground ball right comes over to Signorella. This is going to be a tough play, but he's able to make it in time. 2 runners stranded in scoring position, but Teak Toto and the Cardinals will get a little bit of insurance going to the top of the 7th inning. 3 outs away from getting their first win of the season are the Lawrence Cardinals. Here on 107.7 The Bronc Retro, WRRC2.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
Deacon Moore trying to bring the Cardinals home here in the top of the 7th inning. Lawrence 4, Princeton Day 2. As Gavin Ross will take a fastball. A little bit outside, they're going to call that. That looked like it was...
That was right in there. That's a very interesting call right there.
Same exact pitch there, and they're going to call it a strike that time. So it'll be a 1-1 count towards Gavin Ross, who was 1 for 2. Has one of the 3 hits today for Princeton Day, and it's quickly a 1-2 count towards the freshman.
Deke is really going to go at him. He's going to try and get them out of this inning. He's pitched the entire game, and he's really found his stride towards the end, so he's going to look to try and get him out quick.
He's got all the gas in the tank in the world as that'll trickle outside just a tad to even the count at 2. Moore throwing the kitchen sink at this Princeton Day team. And he'll get him swinging for strikeout number 8 of the afternoon.
Absolute money by Deacon. You know, Deacon, we saw him spot start, well, not spot start, but he was part of the rotation last year, but he was more like the 3-4, and it's really cool to see early on in the season, seeing him throw stuff like that. Didn't think we were going to see that this year. Great strikeout by Deacon.
Mitra lines one right over to the gap. Getting there is Sumner's firing it down low underneath of Crowley. And Mitra will get over to first on an E6.
I think he just tried to rush it a little bit. I think he had a little more time than he thought, and he just kind of like forced it out of his hand. Should have taken one more second right there, and that leads to batter on first.
Well, it does put the Cardinals in double play territory, as coming up to the will be Dylan Powers. Powers steps on, takes a healthy hack at it, goes straight up into the air and out of play. Game tying run at first, go ahead run at the plate right now for Powers, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Mitra at first. That'll be skied high into the air. That's in play. Crowley's calling for it, backing up for it. He'll make the grab, 2 away in the top of the 7th.
Good makeup right there, grab by Crowley. He's having a rough day at the dish and a little bit at first base. We love seeing him get that out right there. Only 1 away to the first win of the Cardinals season, which you know these boys are going to love getting that monkey off their back.
Gonna bring up the 9-hole hitter, the sophomore right-handed second baseman of Mason Reutberg, staring down Deacon Moore, who's been mowing down batters all afternoon long. Fastball fouled back to the service building behind the plate. 2 strikes away from win number 1 of the season. Wasn't the prettiest win in the world, but a W is a W.
They'll get cleaner as the season goes on. Still early in the season. I think we're foul right there. I think we're going to see some fun spots and some fun games from this Cardinal team. There's going to be some growing pains, but you know, this is a Jim Mayer-led squad. I think they're going to figure out, and I think we're going to watch some fun baseball this season.
It's been a fun team. It's a fun schedule, and it's going to be another fun season. 0-2 on the way from Moore. Inside, right at the belt of Reutberg. Nearly got him. And he'll get a ball back.
He's really choked up on that bat right there, Reutberg. He's trying to put some in play. He doesn't want this game to be over. He knows it's close.
4-2 game for the Cardinals. Here's a chopper, like right over to the first baseman of Crowley. Gets it over to Moore. Stumbled, but is able to make the out. And that'll do it.
Great job.
4-2 win for the Cardinals as they take down Princeton Day School by a final score of 4-2. And the first win of the campaign coming in front of the hometown fans here